Hi, I'm Lee Chapin. It's December 26, 2018. Again, I'm in Kochi, India at the Ayurvedic Treatment Center. I just finished my treatment today. We're going to talk about that in our next video, but I was so blessed to meet this lovely lady here at the Ayurvedic Treatment Center a couple of days ago. Amena is from Kuwait. She's a TV journalist, and I'm so blessed to have her. One of the reasons I invited her to speak with us today is because I want to educate everyone who's interested in Ayurvedic treatment to receive knowledge about how it helps them and how it benefits them. So I'm going to chronicle my journey, but I'm going to be interviewing a lot of other people here who are taking the treatment at the center, and by just divine blessing, by God's blessing, synchronistic, but I believe God brought us together. She was sitting in the lobby, and she understands what is happening here with the treatments, because there was a little bit of a language barrier from English into the native language here, and so I was a little having difficulty understanding really what was happening, the names of some of the treatments. And so since she's been here several times. God just blessed us, because how would I help educate you if I didn't have you? So welcome.
Thank you. I'm delighted.
So tell us a little bit about how you found yourself here, and introduce yourself, and how you found yourself coming to this particular treatment center.
Okay, so I'm Amena. I've lived all my life in Kuwait, and when my daughter was diagnosed with delayed milestones, I wanted to find a treatment center which was more holistic in nature. I just did not want to do the usual therapy, which wasn't really promising me anything. So I decided to come to Kerala and Cochin and see what center works best for us. We looked at 9 different centers in and around Cochin.
Oh my gosh. And so there's 9 different Ayurvedic centers?
Yes.
Oh wow.
And all of them had something or did not have something else, and Punarnava seemed to be the place which had it all, especially for people who were not used to living in India. With the facilities that it had, I thought it was the best place in terms of not just the medical treatment, but also for otherwise living life around that treatment. So that's why I chose Punarnava, and I have to say I'm really happy with it, because my daughter is receiving very good treatment, and she's improved every single time we've come here. Although they do recommend 21 days, we kind of manage 15 to 19 days every visit. But I remember I was here when she was 2 years old, the first time when I was here.
Oh, so you're becoming 6 years now.
Yes. And at that time, her eye, the pupil of her eye used to oscillate. And I remember we did the treatment, it's called an oil cap treatment, where they place a hat and then they pour liquid for, like, when I say liquid, I mean oil, medicated oil, this much above the head, and it stays there. And 3 days of that treatment had stopped her oscillation completely. So that was the first benefit in my first trip. We've come here pretty much every year since then, and every year I've seen different things, different improvements. Like her hunchback is a lot straighter now, and so many other things. So I started to read about what Ayurveda does to our body. And that's when I found out some really incredible stuff about how it helps.
And you've also been taking treatment for yourself for preventative care. Is that
Yes,
correct?
that is correct. So the first time I was here, I was like, I'm here.
Fine.
Let's go. Yeah, let's try a massage. And the one that I would recommend to everybody is absolutely the Shirodhara, which means it's a stream of oil. Dhara means a stream. And the stream of oil is placed over their forehead, like from left to right, the oil comes, they reprocess it, and it's medicated. I mean, after that, I really felt like I was just born.
Now, does that help with mental relaxation or mental focus, or does it help your physical brain, or do you specifically know what that does physiologically?
I want to say all of that. It definitely helps because you feel like you're a newborn, and when I say that, I mean like the tension and the anxiety that you build up just living life feels like it's taken away, like you didn't have a care at all in the world, right? And that's what I mean psychologically, that's how it helps. But it also helps the physical part of the brain. And Ayurveda also deals with internal medicines, and they give some a sort of ghee. And I'm not very fond of that ghee, I have to tell
Oh, is
you.
it?
Ghee, shortening.
Oh,
Is the Indian word for shortening. But I wasn't very fond of it. But ghee has a speciality. It is the only substance that reaches your brain. So if you want any medication to go up to your brain, then the medium has to be ghee.
would that help? Would that help with people with dementia or Alzheimer's?
Absolutely, absolutely. That would definitely help because it is about nourishing the brain, the physical brain. So for me, I'm here now. So every year I decide to do different things. This year I just spoke to the doctor casually about a metabolism correction treatment, because I wasn't. I feel like I live a blessed life, but my life is about deadlines.
You're a TV journalist.
Yes, I am.
And you're a mother.
I am a mother, and I also have a full-time job with Agility. So TV journalism is something I do on a freelance basis on the weekends. And it's all about meeting deadlines one after the other. And don't get me wrong, I love what I do. So I don't feel like I'm stressed, but I think the body understands that it's trying to meet deadlines. And I may have an anxiety build up, which is what the doctor here is treating now. And the treatments that I've had so far, I believe, just 2 right now. But just with those 2 treatments, I feel like I'm definitely in a better place when it comes when I talk about my digestion. So I'm very happy with that too.
So do you feel a sense of calmness? Are you able to feel like the anxiety is reduced, or what are you feeling like with your body? I didn't know if you had like anxiety symptoms.
No, so I wouldn't. So it's very difficult for me to either accept that I am anxious, because I really am not anxious. But my body was telling me things like I wasn't digesting anything properly, because I would eat and it would come out like immediately. There was no retention of nutrients at all, and I didn't feel like I was absorbing the nutrients. But now all of that is good. I eat very healthy stuff. You were talking about the energy in food that there is, and I saw your last video talking about the lovely spices here, and I think that has helped me too, because I'm eating really well and I feel like I've digested it really well too. So,
and I know one of your goals is that you're into mind, body, spirit, and you're, as a TV journalist, you're hosting people on your radio show or your television show, and you're educating the people in Kuwait. And does that broadcast go out outside of the country, or is that?
It is on national TV, but what they do is after the episode is published on national TV, then it goes out on YouTube too.
Oh, okay.
It's called Second Home, and it's out on YouTube.
Okay. And then you said you also work for Agility. Can you explain what that company is?
So Agility is a global company. We have offices in around 120 countries, and Kuwait is the headquarters. I want to say we are a logistics company, but then we also are an IT company. So the way Toby Switzer, the Chief Human Capital Officer of Agility, says it is we are an IT company masquerading as a logistics company. That's how big we are with IT. But we also do a lot of special projects. We have many other companies which we own, like the National Aviation Services, the Metal Recycling Company of Kuwait is all under Agility.
So you're juggling lots of hats.
Yes.
And with that, and then your TV, and then taking care of your daughter. And so I wanted you to explain a little bit. I know you said you had a lady on your program that you talked about the connection with the emotions, with the mind, body, and spirit. And so I just wanted you to touch on that a little bit about the Ayurvedic treatment here. And do they bring that forward in treatments, or has that been a part of any of your treatments, the psychological part of it?
I love that question. But before I answer that, I wanted to touch a little bit about my conversation with the lady you just mentioned. And it all started with the massage and what it does, other than just body massage, because it touches upon your lymphatic system, which is probably why you must have noticed they always insist on hydrating yourself. They always will ask you to have a glass of water before and after. And it's because while they do all these massages, your lymphatic system is energized and it flushes out all the toxins. Now you don't want those toxins to stay in your body, so make sure you have enough water to throw it out. But what all this does is so it's not just eating in good stuff, but it's also flushing out the toxins. And once you do that, your body is ready now to move to a higher level, which is where the spiritual aspect comes in. Even in Feng Shui, if you've heard, and they talk about decluttering the space first before you get energized. That's the same with our body. We need to declutter. We need to
feels good when you
Yes. Yes. It feels so good even after you do that to the room, and it feels so good when you do that to your body. So detoxify, and then re-energize, and then elevate. So that's where the spiritual aspect comes in. And although I haven't seen a lot of focus on that here in terms of spirituality, but I do feel like they prep your body in a way. These kind of massages help to prep you. And definitely physical health has a lot to do with your emotional health.
Yes.
Absolutely. This is the one thing that I'm trying to also get people to understand, because sometimes you take it too casually. And the best part is that we have now mapped the emotion to the organ.
Yes.
How cool is that?
Yeah, that's very cool.
I mean, and you know about it. So I know we were discussing that. So something like, let's say, sinus. Sinus is about inner crying. So a person who doesn't cry outside then ends up crying on the inside and then suffers a sinus.
That's right. Blockage.
That's because of the blockage. So that kind of emotional problem is going to lead to a sinus. If there is anger, so now let's go to a more bigger organ. If there is anger, deep-seated anger, then it affects your kidneys. And likewise, I mean, there is, for every emotion, there is an organ that gets affected. So be careful of your emotion, and the worst emotion you could vibrate on, because all these emotions generate a certain frequency in your body, and the worst one you could vibrate on is, any guesses?
We talked about that the other day. I think you said guilt.
Guilt.
Yes.
I first thought it would be fear.
That's what I thought.
Right?
Yeah.
Or anger, because you see an angry person and like, "Argh."
Yeah.
But surprisingly, it's guilt. If you feel guilt for a long period of time continuously, it's going to end up in lower frequencies for your body. So make sure you don't feel that. It is important that you try and find and resolve this guilt. Forgiving others is good. Forgiving yourself is important.
Is more important.
Absolutely.
I'm so glad you touched on that, because I have been a psychotherapist for I'm gonna cough, almost 40 years,
Wow.
and I have been a massage therapist for 30 years. And when I first started my practice in my massage therapy practice, I wanted to combine my psychotherapy with the touch therapy to help people to release the emotions in their body. But 25 years ago, or 30 years ago, when I started that practice, where I was living, people were not aware of that. I've come to see such growth, and so I'm so glad that or awareness and that understanding. So I'm glad you touched upon that. Plus, many people in the spiritual community know about Louise Hay, who was a pioneer in talking about how our emotions, how to heal your body, how the emotions affect your body. And so I have always advocated for that. And so I'm so glad that you're speaking of this, because this is very important. And I wanted to say, as we heal our bodies, as we nurture our bodies, and particularly in the Western countries, I'm from the U.S., so I'm just recently traveling to other countries, but I think probably perhaps people in general don't really honor or nurture their bodies and love themselves or love their bodies, as I haven't really even thought much about this, which I should. I'm now 63 years old. Even though I was a massage therapist, I was always giving to other people. And so now it's like, it's time to deal with all that to be able to receive, to nurture my body, to not only be safe, healthy, and vital, but also, as you talk about, to release those emotions that have been trapped, in our system, and that energy that's been trapped for, 63 years, whatever life experiences I've had. So I'm really so happy that you shared that because that's a really, really important component for people. in
You're the
terms of
youngest
wellness.
looking 63-year-old I've met.
Oh, you're so sweet. Well, I've been called childlike, and I embrace my inner child. I still like to have fun. You gotta laugh.
Yes, absolutely. And I wanted to loop that back in because you mentioned releasing your emotions, and we talked about different organs, and skin is our largest organ. And as a massage therapist, when they massage over your skin, there is some component. I don't know if you noticed, but when they start treatment, they started with a little prayer.
Yeah. Oh,
Because what they're trying to do is they understand this, they do it with this understanding that they are going to help that energy flow from their palms into the body. So they are consciously doing this with the help of the divine force. So they say a prayer before they start their massage, and then they help to get that flow going. So I think that is also a little bit of the spiritual aspect
Holding
of
the
the
intention.
massage, holding the intention
Yes.
while they're doing this massage for
Yes.
you through the largest organ, which is the skin.
And if we can understand that we can hold our intentions of what we want to heal and to release. Yesterday we were talking with another lady that's here from Canada, from Vancouver, about storytelling. And I had just thought of this, and we were talking about this yesterday at lunch, about how we've held onto the story. And what that just came to me a couple days ago, without her even speaking about it, that it's time to release the story from my body, to release the emotions, to release again the experiences of trauma that I've experienced in my life, that I know I've held within my pelvic region and back region. So part of the reason I'm here is for back and sciatica. So it's just so amazing that I think if you relax enough that you get the epiphany. It's like, oh, I gotta release that story. I can't be telling that story anymore. My body's like, I don't have to have anybody else help me to fix that. I just need to say, release it and let it go, and then that will change the energy and the imprint in my body to be able to heal. So with this Ayurvedic treatment that I'm receiving, I think I found the answer because I've really been praying about this for some time.
It helps, absolutely.
So I
Holding
want
the intention.
The intention.
And you spoke about the back and how it changes when you change the energy of that particular back. There are 7 chakras in our body, and the back, the lowest one is the root chakra. Again, it signifies a lot of different things. It signifies your survival, how strong you feel if you can survive, affects the root chakra. And then you have the sacral, you have all these 7 different chakras. But one thing I noticed was women who have been working all their life, and then when they retire, a lot of these women I've seen foot issues. And I was wondering, why is there a connection? Why are women in that age group getting foot problems? Now, apart from the 7 chakras that I spoke
Like swelling
of,
in the legs?
yes, swelling in the legs or at the ankle, or something's wrong with the foot that they can't walk. And I've seen so many cases that it made me think. And so apart from the 7 chakras, which we all know of, there are some mini chakras in the foot too. And when you are at a stage in your life where you don't know what to look forward to, let's say your children are grown up, they're married, they have children, like you don't know what to look forward to, then those chakras get affected. Then you don't know how to step forward, and that's where the stagnant energy is pulling you down from there. So if you treat that, like just even putting in salt water, because salt absorbs a lot of negative energy. So it's,
Epsom salts.
Epsom salts, and that's why. So let's say if you have and I always give this as a solution to a lot of my colleagues who, they say so and so had come and they were very angry about something, or their ex-girlfriend or boyfriend, they were very angry, and after they left, my house felt like I wasn't restful either. And I'm like, the best thing to do to cleanse your energy, cleanse the energy of the house, is put some salt wherever the person was sitting and complaining.
Yeah, I don't do that. But I heard about putting salt around the corners of your home.
Yes,
Yeah.
so that is why they do. The corners of the corners would be to get away from the stagnant energy. But also, if you have angry energy, you have jealous energy, or any kind of energy that comes into your house, you do some salt, let it stay there for 4 to 5 hours, and then sweep it out and put it in the earth, because it allows to absorb the negative energies. You don't want to leave it outside.
Right.
But yeah, salt is a great way of pulling away negative energy. So even dipping your foot in warm salt water is going to take that negative energy from the mini chakra, and it's going to help heal your foot.
Oh my God.
So
We could probably talk for hours.
yes,
Yes. I think we could. But I want to thank you today because you've really, I know you've enlightened so many people, and we just, maybe we can do this one more time while we're here, because
Love
it
that.
just feels like we've just,
Scratch
we just scratched the surface, and you're so knowledgeable. So I'm so, like I said, I'm so blessed that you were sitting and talking to Jared, and I walked in and there you were, and we connected, and I felt really deeply connected to you.
So do I.
Like we had known each other. So I'm so, so grateful for this opportunity. So bless you.
Yes, you do.
Amen.
Me.
And we will be right back with another video. She's going to explain my treatment, and that's why I'm not looking so good. But oh well, I've had that oil, the medicated oil, all over my hair, so I feel good.
And you look fabulous.
And happy belated Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.